If your brand ain't grabbing attention, building trust, or generating sales, there's a reason. Yes. There is a reason. And it ain't because you ain't working hard. Like, I see you. You're posting content, you running ads, you maybe even tweaking your logo, Lord knows how many times. You're doing everything you think you're supposed to do, but still nothing's working. Literally nothing. So what's the problem? The problem is branding isn't just about having a business, a logo, or a catchy slogan. It's about something much deeper than that. And until you understand what truly makes a brand work, you're going to continue to spin your wheels over and over and over. You're going to continue to run in place, getting anywhere. You know why I know this? Is because I've been there. See, when my wife and I first started in business, we were all over the place. We are literally all over the place. We had no clear strategy. We had no real branding experience. We were just hustling blindly, throwing stuff at the wall, hoping it sticks. We were just hoping anything would work. And guess what? It didn't. For years, literally for years, we struggled. Not because we weren't working hard. I'm telling you, we was putting in the work. We was putting in the hours. We was putting in the days. We was putting in the month. I mean, sometimes we'll go 30 days without working. But because we didn't understand how to position ourselves and attract the right audience and build a brand that actually made us money, we literally got nowhere. The moment we figured it out, everything changed. We went from making around, I think we was making around 300K at the time back in 2012, 2013, to a little over, to jump to 2022, which is when we first crossed $1 million, which is about 2 years ago. We crossed $1 million, but that's when we first got branding. And it took us a decade to learn what I'm about to share with you in this video. So if you want to skip the years of trial and error and avoid costly mistakes and frustration, then stick with me. But before I get into that, first things first is, I'm a realist. And by the time you finish watching this video, you'll have a level of understanding about branding that most business owners will never figure out. You'll know exactly how to build a brand that not only turns head, but actually makes you money. You'll go from not knowing how the branding works to knowing how exactly how branding works and how to use it to your advantage. So what is branding? I define a brand as a name or symbol that communicates a message about its identity. Let me say it again. I define a brand as a name or symbol that communicates a message about its identity. I'm gonna break down this definition so you can completely unequivocally get it. But before you can understand this definition, I want you to understand how I even came up with this definition by giving you a quick little history lesson on how branding even became a thing. See, back in the day, when agriculture was the main industry to be in, most entrepreneurs sold livestock, things like cows, horses, and even people. Yes, people. And I guarantee some of those people were my ancestors. But anyways, a lot of their inventory would go missing. And it wasn't like they can easily go find it because all cows look the same, right? All horses look about the same unless it had a different fur coat. But really, like, all cows look the same. So if it was stolen, how could they even know it was, even if there was their cow? And this became a big problem for most entrepreneurs, because when their inventory went missing, whether it went missing because it escaped or because it was stolen by a thief, they had no way of finding it because it had no identity. It wasn't they weren't able to identify ownership of the cow, because guess what? All cows look the same. All horses look about the same. And so since their cow or whatever it was stolen, their livestock was stolen, it could easily be resold. Because again, it was something generic. It had no name. It had no title. It had no identity. And so what farmers and ranchers started to do, because they had to find a way to deter this and to slow down their inventory from coming up missing all the time. So guess what they started to do? They started burning, literally burning, or stamping their name or symbol into their livestock, literally branding them. See, a brand is when you take a high urn. I don't know if you ever seen those old movies where they will put the urn into some type of fire or high coal, and then they will boom, sear it on you, and they will burn you. burning their name or symbol into your skin, into the animal's fur, or whoever it was. And this simple act solved two major problems. Number one is ownership and protection. If someone saw your mark on a cow, they knew exactly where it came from and who owned it. So it deterred thieves and helped track inventory better than anything. And number two, recognition and quality. Over time, buyers began to associate certain marks with quality. They didn't see a cow. They saw a trusted source. They didn't see a horse. They saw a trusted source. And that's when the real power of branding was discovered. And this is when entrepreneurs shifted their focus. They went from just marking ownership to building trust and eliminating risk for buyers. And this is where modern branding actually began, because identity is what makes a brand stand out. Like, think about it. Before that cow was branded, it looked like every other cow. It just blended in with every other cow. And there was no way you can tell the difference when everything looks the same. It looked like every other cow. But once it had a mark, it no longer looked like any other cow. It had gained an identity. It became instantly identifiable because it gained an identity because of the mark. So it no longer looked like every cow. So the whole purpose of a brand is to create an identity so that you can easily become identifiable. Let me say it again. One of the sole purpose of creating a brand is so that you can become identifiable. Literally, take a look at these symbols. Could you identify which one's different? No, you can't identify which one is different. Why? Because they're all the same. But take a look at these symbols. Can you identify a difference? Of course you can. Why? Because when something that's different, it stands out. If your brand looks like, sounds like, and feels like every other brand, you're just invisible. And if you're invisible, people can't identify you. They won't remember you, trust you, or buy from you. Listen to me. When you fail to differentiate yourself and you want to look like everybody else because you want to play it safe and you don't want to go outside the box because you're afraid what people might think, then you turn into something dangerous. You turn into a commodity. And a commodity is a product that is available everywhere, like a box of nails. That's a commodity. Or a 2x4. That's a commodity. These things are commodities. You don't care who made the 2x4. You don't care who made the box of nails. Like a commodity is indistinguishable from its competitors. A commodity only competes on price. And here's the problem with that. If customers compare your brand to another and the only deciding factor is price, you're a commodity. You have a problem because you're a commodity. Maybe I need to better explain what I mean. Like if you got two brands and they look the same and one costs $10 while the other one costs $15, people will choose the cheaper option every single time. And that makes you a commodity. You don't want to be just another option. You want to be the only option. And when you're the only option, you have a brand, you have an identity. You build a brand that makes people choose you for a reason other than the price. Most entrepreneurs are just commodities. They sell the same stuff everybody else selling, white label, and then they want to charge more in price when they don't differentiate themselves at all. They're just selling the same thing and want to charge more for something that they're selling that people could go buy somewhere for way less. Or you wondering why your business is not getting sales is because you're a commodity. People only choose you based upon price. And I'm sorry, you don't have the best price. And if you don't have the best price, people are not going to buy from you. They're going to choose the cheaper option, remember? But if people are not choosing you based on price, my friend, you're starting to build a brand, because a brand's whole goal is to affect people's behavior beyond the money. To show you exactly how branding works and affects people's behavior in real life, I'm going to use a simple example. Shoes. Now imagine you're standing in a shoe store and you're looking at 4 different pairs of shoes. Let's start with shoe number 1, a brand you trust. And let's say this shoe has a Nike logo on it. You recognize the name I'm sure you've worn some of their products before. I'm pretty sure you worn a pair of Nikes before. You trust them to deliver on their promise of quality. And because of this, you trust that there's very little to no risk in buying a shoe. It feels like a safe decision compared to the other three options we're about to go over. And let's say shoe number 2, a brand you dislike. Now think about a brand you personally dislike. Maybe you've had a bad experience. I don't know. Maybe it's not your style. Maybe it's just something you don't like. Either way, even if the product is good, you're going to avoid it. Why? Because you don't trust this brand to meet your expectations. Your past experience has shaped how you trust it or lack thereof. Like for me, it's Adidas. They make my feet hurt. And I probably only ever bought one pair in my entire life. And after buying that pair and experiencing that brand, it's just a brand I don't like. So it doesn't matter how much they discount the price. To me, they've lost my level of trust based upon my experience. And because I lack trust based upon the experience that I've had with them, I'm not going to buy the shoes, even at a discounted rate. Now, maybe I'll take them if they're free because I'll give them away to somebody. But other than that, I'm never going to buy a pair of Adidas, right? It's a brand that I don't like. And let's say shoe number 3, a brand you don't know. Now imagine a shoe from a brand you've never heard of. Even if that shoe looks good, you don't know. You don't know if its quality is good. You don't know how it fits on your feet. You don't know how long it will last. The risk is too high. So you'd rather buy from a brand that you actually trust because you're unfamiliar with this brand. And when you're unfamiliar with the brand, there's higher risk involved. And if there's higher risk involved, it lowers your chances of purchasing. See, it affects your behavior. Let's go to shoe number 4, a shoe with no brand. Now imagine a plain, unbranded shoe. Imagine a generic shoe with no brand at all, like a pair of sandals from a random surf shop near the beach. It might be amazing. Brand might be good, but without a brand or a logo on it or anything on it, you assume it's very low quality and you don't trust it because you're like, they don't even care enough to put a logo on it. The company's that cheap, even though it could be good. But your brain works to process things very fast and solve problems. So it's going to prejudge. So out of those 4 shoes, you end up choosing Nike because Nike is a brand that you trust and you are familiar with over any of these brands. Nike affects your behavior. So what's the point of all this, Donnie? Well, the point is that a brand's purpose is to create an identity that establishes trust and eliminates risk. The brands you buy from are the ones you trust to deliver on their promise. And the brands you avoid buying from, you either don't trust them or they don't offer something of value or something you like or style you may like. And because branding has moved towards establishing trust and taking away uncertainty, it's pushing us in a new era where trust isn't built through corporate logos or fancy marketing campaigns anymore. It's built through people. Yes, people. Listen to me when I say this. Consumers are no longer blindly following big brands. They follow individuals they know, like, and trust. And because of this shift, personal brands are disrupting and even destroying traditional brands. That's why the most important brand you can build isn't a company. It's literally you. When you create a personal brand and identity that establishes trust and eliminates uncertainty, eliminates risk, people don't just buy what you are selling. They buy, guess what? You. They connect with your story, your values, and your vision. And when people trust you, they'll invest in whatever you offer before they even know what it is. Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner didn't become a billionaire because she had the best lipstick. She became a billionaire because people bought into her brand. People bought into her brand. You can love her or hate her or not. I don't care. She sold half of her company for $600 million. And it was all because people bought into her brand. The example doesn't stop there. Take The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He didn't just start a tequila company. I forgot his tequila company name. But however, he used his name, his trust, and his audience to turn it into $1 billion empire. Think about Elon Musk. Same thing. People trust and buy into his identity. Lately, they've been cutting away from him because of some of the stuff he's on. Let's not get into it, but all the antics he's got going on. But whatever it is, I mean, it's the same thing with Kanye West, right? Whatever. But Martha Stewart didn't start with a groundbreaking product. She simply showed up on camera, showed her expertise, and built an empire. Just literally being herself. Being herself. All she did was turn on the camera. And Martha Stewart, I don't know, y'all, like most of y'all might not know this, but that lady is a goat. There's a reason why they sent her to jail. There's a reason why they imprisoned her. She was doing a little too much. She was like one of the first people to ever IPO herself. Of course they had to take her out. She was showing the world something they really ain't never seen before, and I still don't think people actually caught on. She literally IPO'd herself. If you don't know what IPO is, initial public offering. She put herself on the stock market. That's what I'm saying to you. She put herself on the stock market. She became a billionaire by putting herself on the stock market. And all she did was show her expertise of how to be a homemaker. And she turned on the camera and did it. And people got it around her personality. And that is what built her brand. The truth is, people don't connect with faceless corporations as much anymore. They connect with stories, personalities, and authenticity. In today's world, your personal brand isn't just an advantage. It's a necessity. I hope you're starting to realize this as I'm talking to you about this. This is why branding really matters in today's world. And it matters because you are the brand. But let's go back to number one, a brand you trust. When customers know your brand and trust your brand and have a history with your brand, they will pay higher prices, they stay loyal to your business, and they recommend others to buy from you. They ain't got no problem with confidently telling other people, I only buy from this brand. You have to try them. I do Apple like that. I only buy Apple. I'm a part of Apple's gig. I'm a part of Apple's economy. I got an iPad, iPhone, iMac. I got everything Apple TVs, Apple, everything. Right? And I tell people to buy Apple because that is a brand that has established trust with me, and there's very little to no risk in buying from this brand at all. So guess what I do? I brag about them. I tell people about them. I tell people, yeah, I know how much a PC costs. PC costs a couple $100. I know a MacBook costs what? The cheapest one, probably $900, $1,000. But guess what? Even though it's 10 times, even though it's what, four or five times more, I tell people to still buy it because at the end of the day, this computer is going to work in 5 years and you still can sell it for almost half the price that you bought it for. That's a great product. That's a great brand. That's a great identity. Because of that logo, that identity, that message that Apple has crafted, I can have the computer for 5 years and still go sell it for half the price. When I can have a PC for probably 1 or 2 years and have to replace the battery. Terrible, right? So I tell people, even though they think they're going to spend less on buying a Windows computer or just a regular PC, they actually end up spending more because they have to buy that multiple times over 5 years when I only have to buy mine once and then sell it when I'm done for half the price to go buy another one. But what happens when you shoot number two? A brand people dislike. People actively warn against buying from you. Like, I'm never going to tell anybody to buy Adidas, right? I'm never going to tell anybody to buy that because that's a brand I just don't like. And with shoe number three, an unknown brand, people are always going to hesitate to try you because they don't know you. There it goes again, that trust. That's what a brand is made up of, trust. Buying down uncertainty, buying down risk. Right? And with shoe number four, a brandless product, people automatically, I told you how our brains work. We're like, we don't have time to assess everything and assess the shoe if it's good quality. No, our brain's gonna automatically piece together. Like, it doesn't have a logo, so it can't be that good because the people don't even care enough to put a logo on there. And so people's gonna automatically assume low quality and don't even consider you. Branding is not just about having a name or a logo. It's about creating an identity that communicates a message and builds trust. It's about eliminating risk in the minds of customers so that they feel confident when they choose you. If your brand doesn't communicate a clear identity, then you don't really have a brand. You just have a name and a logo. So ask yourself, is your brand clearly communicating who you are, what you stand for, and why people should trust you? Because if not, you're just another name in the marketplace. You're just another name that's out there, easily ignored and easily replaced when somebody comes along with a cheaper price. Because when you just like everybody else in the market, you just become a commodity. And if you're a commodity, you lose to price. But when people know your brand, trust your brand, and believe in your brand, that's when you win. And this is what a brand truly is. Okay, Donnie, I now get what a brand is. I now see it. I now see what a brand is. So how do I create a brand? So how do I create a name or a symbol that communicates a message about its identity? Well, I'm glad you asked. In order to create a brand, you have to create an identity. You have to create an identity, and more importantly, you have to create it with intention. So how do you build an identity with intention? Well, it comes down to these 5 key elements, the 5 key elements of an identity: expertise, what the brand is known for; appearance, how it looks and feels; expression, how it speaks and interacts; connection, how it builds relationships; and evolution, how the brand grows over time. If you want your brand to be strong, consistent, and influential, you need to be intentional about all of these elements. So let me break them down one by one for you. Number 1, your expertise. You have to be an expert of something. A great brand is known for something specific. They're known for one specialty. And if you want people to remember your brand, you need to become known for something special. What is your specialty? What is your expertise in? Like McDonald's specializes in the Big Mac, right? It specializes in fast food. There's the Burger King, Have It Your Way, specializes in the Whopper, right? What is your specialty? Toyota specializes in cars. Apple specializes in innovative technology. Like, what do you specialize in? Because you have to be known for something. You have to be known for one thing. What is it that you want people to know you for? Like, my wife is known as a beauty guru, right? She sells cosmetics. Everything beauty is with her. You've probably come across this channel. So now you're starting to associate me with business and entrepreneurship. So I will be to you that guy that talks about business and entrepreneurship. I specialize in one thing. What is it? You have to specialize in one thing and you become so good at it. Think about what makes you special and different from others. You have to become an expert of something. I'm an expert in business. Why am I expert in business? It's because I study business more than most people do. I read about business more than most people do. I talk about business more than most people do. Every day, my life is consumed with running business and learning more about business and how it all works. My wife is an expert in makeup and beauty. And so people always contact her for beauty tips. People contact me for how to help them with their business. Because what? I'm giving you my expertise right now, right? I'm showing you how to create a brand. This is my expertise of how business brand work. You have to specialize in something. You have to have some type of specialty. What is it? Martha Stewart was in cooking, right? Dwayne Johnson was in wrestling and acting, right? We know Denzel Washington. Why? Because of his specialty. You know Taylor Swift because of what? Her specialty. You know Beyonce because of her what? Her specialty. You know Elon Musk because of his specialty. You know Jeff Bezos because of his specialty. You know Donald Trump. Why? You know them mostly for their specialty. So all I'm saying to you is, what is the one thing that you do that you're an expert in, that you do it better than anybody else around you, and you do it all the time? What are you an expert in? Because whatever you're an expert in, that's what you should specialize in. Because whatever you specialize in, that's what's going to get your name or your identity out there. Because people need to simultaneously identify you with what it is that you do. And when people simultaneously identify your name on logo with what it is that you do, you're starting to create an identity with an expertise. And when the two come together, they say, oh, that's Donnie, the business guy, or that's Donnie, the guy who talks about business all the time, or my wife. That's the makeup girl, right? You're known for your expertise. Do you provide a service that no one else does quite like you? Your expertise is what people will remember you for. So make sure you focus on what you're best at and keep improving it. Number 2, your brand's appearance. How do you look? A brand's look is super important. People notice colors, logos, and designs first. See, you just can't put together stuff. You have to choose colors and fonts that matches your brand personality. It's not just the color. It's not just the color green. It's not just the color blue. It's not just the color white. No, you need to choose a color, and you need to choose a font that matches your brand's personalities. Colors create emotions and feelings. So pick something that represents your brand well. For example, red can evoke excitement and energy. But if you go on my site is blue. Blue often represents trust and professionalism. I purposely did that for a reason, right? I choose those colors for a reason because, again, blue often represents trust and professionalism. Stop thinking, do you think the big brands that you know today have the colors that they have without intention? Every brand colors you can think of, every big brand that you know and you think of their colors, they were made with intention. You think Netflix didn't make their logo with intention? Fonts also play a huge role in how people perceive your brand. Yes, fonts. You have to care about every single detail when it comes to how your brand look, because everything is a part of your brand's identity. And fonts is a part of your brand's identity too. Bold fonts can make you feel strong and confident, while script-looking fonts might feel elegant and sophisticated. And when the brain sees it, it literally automatically processes these things. Why? Again, because your brain works on autopilot. It already solved the problem and know that bold fonts can feel strong and confident. And your brain automatically sees that. And when they see script font, they automatically think elegant and sophisticated. Like if you go on a Giorgio Armani site or a Gucci site, right? And look at their font. Their font also speaks to you. Now let's talk about logos and symbols. Make a logo that is easily recognizable. Don't make it hard for people to decipher, because people don't want to think. If you make people think too much, they're not even going to even recognize your symbol, even as a symbol. It's just going to go into blurs. It's just going to go in the back of their mind. So make your logo easy to recognize. A great logo is simple, memorable, and scalable. You have to even think about how your logo will look even on different material, like on business cards, like on social media, like on billboards, like on merchandise, like on t-shirts or sweaters. Brands like Apple and Nike use logos that are iconic and instantly recognizable, even without words. Like when you see the Nike check mark, you know immediately what it is. When you see the Apple sign with the apple, you know immediately what that brand is. Those brand logos immediately speaks to you. And that's probably one of the main reasons I bought an Apple computer, because I just liked how the light lit up in the back when it was white, like with the old MacBooks, how the light illuminated with the Apple with the gray backboard. I just loved the way it looked, and it looked so professional, so sleek, so luxury. And then I had to get one. I had to have one. They made me desire to have one. Even take a look at my wife logo. Netbox, bold and unapologetic. This logo speaks for itself. Look at all the bright colors in it, right? You're probably able to instantly tell that this is a makeup company that sells bold colored makeup, right? Because it is. That logo was intentionally designed. The colors and everything was all intentional. So when this brand becomes a global brand around the world and they see this logo, they know when you watch this video, it was done with intention. Like, I hope you don't think any brand, any big business brand logo is done without intention. Like they just threw something together and slept it on the wall. No, you have to be intentional about everything you do when it comes to the appearance of your brand, because that's one of the first impressions people get. So you have to care about how your brand looks on social media, how your logo looks on billboards and merchandise. You have to care about those things because it's shaping your brand's identity. And now let's talk about consistency. Keeping your brand looking the same everywhere is a must. Whether it's on your store, website, social media, your brand has to look the same exactly everywhere. If you go Google me or go look up my brand on all my social medias, I tell you exactly what I do across all platforms. Whether you go on my website, my LinkedIn profile, my Instagram profile, no matter where you go, the brand all matches. It all says the same thing. It doesn't say one thing different on one platform and something different on another platform. No, it says exactly what I do immediately on all platforms so that the brand remains consistent, because consistency builds trust and it helps customers easily identify your brand and who you are. See, when people see your colors, your logos and fonts used all in the same way across all platforms, all the same, they start to remember and they associate them with your brand. Whether it's packaging, email, advertising, your brand identity should always feel familiar. It's like when you see them golden arches anywhere. McDonald's golden arches, when you see them, you know exactly what it is. Or Tiffany and Company's blue box. Just seeing that blue color makes people think automatically of jewelry. Your brand should always look the same so people recognize it right away. That's why it has to be the same everywhere. Now, let's talk about element number 3, expression. Like, what's the voice and tone of your brand like? Is your brand fun? Is it serious? Or is it inspiring? My brand's inspiring. Your tone should match what your audience expects and enjoys. A playful brand might use humor to engage with customers, making them feel comfortable and entertained. And on the other hand, a luxury brand might sound more refined and more elegant, using more sophisticated language to appeal to a higher end audience, right? I know my wife's brand is about being bold and confident. So she speaks like she's a baddie because she is a baddie, right? So she speaks with confidence. She speaks with a lot of high energy, but she speaks with a likability or funness or warmness that people like, but they know that she has confidence because of how she talks, and she's not afraid to ever show that confidence, right? But the key is consistency. Your voice should be the same across your website, social media, and marketing materials, everything. Your voice should sound exactly the same. Another part of expressing your brand is through your brand's message and stories. Like, what does your brand say to people? What does your brand tell people? See, Nike's Just Do It. It tells people to be inspired, to be active, and to push their limits. And Apple tells people to think different. They encourages them to be creative and innovative. Like, what does your brand tell people? Just when you watch a Nike commercial, just pay attention to the message that it's sending. Like, it's intentional about its message. It's always about high performance. It's always about pushing limits. It's always going an extra step. It's always just do it. Like, it's Nike's message is always inspirational. So what is your brand's message? Every brand tells a story, and the best ones create an emotional connection when they tell your story. Whether it's about helping others, innovating, adventure, or empowerment, your message should resonate with your audience. Think about the problems you solve and how your brand makes life better for your customers. A strong brand story is personal, relatable, and it leaves a lasting impact on people. You shape your brand's message. However you want people to think about your brand, that's what you advertise. That's what you put out there, because it's you who's shaping your brand's identity with the messages and stories you are putting out there about your brand. Make sure you are intentionally putting message out there that matches your brand and amplifies your brand's identity so that when people see that message, they're easily able to identify, okay, this is what this brand's about. This is what this brand is like. And another part of your brand's expression is your brand's reputation. What do people think about your brand when you're not around? When you're not in the room, what are they saying about your brand? A great brand builds trust by staying true to its values and delivering on its promises and creating memorable experience for its customers. Your reputation is shaped by customers' reviews, word of mouth recommendations, and the way you handle challenges. Brands with strong reputation consistently provide great products, excellent customer service, and meaningful interactions. If people trust your brand, they will keep coming back and recommending it to others over and over and over. So you have to care about your brand's reputation. Do not let anybody speak bad about your brand reputation. Immediately stick that stuff in the butt, because again, you don't want anything bad attached to your identity. It takes a long time to build a reputation, but only a few minutes to destroy it. Literally, only a few minutes to destroy it. So really care about your brand's reputation. You don't want to be looked at as some shady brand, or a brand that does shady business, or a brand that doesn't hold up to its promises, or a brand that doesn't have high quality. Care about your brand's reputation, because what people say about you when you're not in the room is affecting your brand's identity. So you have to truly care about your brand's reputation. You have to be intentional about your brand's reputation and allow it not to ever be spoken bad about, or don't do anything so that it does or gets spoken bad about. Care about your brand's reputation. Always do the right thing because it's right, no matter how much it costs you. Do the right thing because it's right, and do it right. All I'm saying is, what you say about your brand should match how people should feel about it. And it happens based upon your voice, how your brand speaks, the messages that your brand puts out there, the stories that your brand put out there, the campaigns that tell stories about your brand, so that you can shape people's mind about how to think about your brand. All that stuff needs to match what it is that you want people to perceive. And the fourth element to creating an identity is connection. How do you make people feel? A brand isn't just about selling. It's about making people feel something. And the only way to make people feel something is to connect with people. And the only way to connect with people is to know your audience. Think about the people who love your brand the most. What do they like? What do they need? The better you understand them, the easier it is to connect with them. Understand their pains, their hurts, their feelings, their struggle, their challenges, and then learn to relate to them. That's how you connect with your audience. And another way to connect with people is to be who God created you to be. I don't know why this is so hard for so many people, but you have to, if you want to stand out, you have to learn to be who God created you to be. There's only there's only one you. And that is your greatest strength. That is your greatest advantage above all advantages in building a brand that has an identity, is for you to be you. The more you embrace the person that God created you to be, based upon your life experiences and the things you are passionate about and the things you value, the more you embrace that person, the more unique and memorable you become. When you confidently express who you truly are, people will naturally be drawn to you. And if they're not, and if they don't resonate with you, that's okay. They were never meant to be on this journey with you. They were never meant to be a part of your circle. They were never meant to be a part of your life in the first place. That's why you gotta be who God created you to be. Everything you went through for a reason. And you shouldn't be allowing what you went through to be holding you back. If you allowing the past to still hold you back, you're still reliving that past as if it's still happening over and over and over and over, when it already happened. Now you really just need to get over it. It's the way you think about the past that's currently shaping your current reality. If you think about the past in a different way, If you think about the past in a way, like everything I went through, it actually helped me to become the person I am today. Like I can use my past. I had a rough past. Like, man, I remember at one time I was facing life in jail. Like the minimum time. Like I remember going to arraignment one day after getting caught up when I was a kid. Like the judge telling me I was facing 420 years maximum and a minimum of 220. Like, but everything I went through has made me the person I am today. And I wouldn't change any of it. Like, I wouldn't change not one single thing, because all my life experiences, even the thing that I'm passionate about and the things that I value, they make me who I am. And who I am is different than any other person on this planet. You have to confidently express yourself and who you are and constantly always be that person. Authenticity is key. See, trying to blend in and be like everyone else only makes you forgettable. The brands and individuals that stand out are not those who are not different. It's those who decided to be different. Declare who you are with confidence. This is me. Like, I like what I like. Like, it's funny because I argue with my family all the time. Like, I'm a Drake fan. Kendrick's all right. I'm not saying I don't like Kendrick, but if I had to choose, I'm choosing Drake. They might get me for that, and also like and other things. But like, this is me. This is when you get Donnie. This is what you get. Like, there's no difference. I can only be. What was that Usher song? Even though I might be on TV, and baby, you got my own CD. There ain't no change in me. I can only be me. Whatever. I can't say, but I'm always me. And this and I stand for what I stand for. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But it's crazy how society try to teach us to fit in and to play it safe and to stay in the box. But it's the box that keeps you trapped. It's playing it safe that keeps you trapped. It's trying to fit in that keeps you trapped. It's almost like this invisible box. Like they punish you as a kid. Like when you go outside of that box, and because they punish you as a kid, when you look different than anyone else, it's almost like your mind is programmed. Like you have an invisible prison stopping you from being who you really want to be and who you want to put out there to the world. But what I'm telling you is that you got to start being who God called you to be and coming outside of that box, because that's the person who's designed to become a millionaire, to maybe even a billionaire. Who knows? But standing out requires breaking free from those limitations and fully embracing your individuality. When people feel like they can relate to you, when they see you as part of themselves and your story, they connect with your brand on a way much deeper level. People love brands that make them feel good, that reflect their own identity and aspirations. When you show up as your true self and you share your journey, everything you've been through, don't be afraid, because again, there's only one you, and they don't make them like you. You make people feel like they are a part of something bigger. They just like your brand. They don't just like your brand. They love it because it resonates with them. Like once you purposely try to be different, you start to create an identity. Because as we go back to our example, in a symbol full of ones, there was a 2 in the middle. And the 2 in the middle, you was able to identify because it was what? Different. Louis Vuitton became Louis Vuitton because people loved this brand, because it was different, because it represents a timeless craftsmanship or exclusivity in high fashion. Louis Vuitton is known for blending traditions with innovation and offering iconic luxury pieces that symbolizes status and prestige. And status and prestige is what people want to feel. They want to feel like they got status and they want to feel like they got prestige. That's why the Louis Vuitton products are more than just a product. Louis Vuitton makes people feel something. It taps into their emotions of achievement, elegance, and belonging to a world of sophistication. That's the power of what a brand does. And when you start telling your story and being you and showing up and just doing and being the person that God created, people start to love you. They start to love your brand. That way, when customers buy from you, they don't just buy from you, they buy into you. Customers just don't buy Louis Vuitton. They buy into a lifestyle, an identity, and a personal statement of success. This is what makes a brand unforgettable. It doesn't just sell, it resonates. It tells a story that people want to be a part of, making them feel valued, inspired, and unique. People love brands that make them feel good and share their values. And the fifth element needed to shape a brand's identity is evolution. You got to keep going. Great brands don't stay the same forever. They change and they improve over time. Like, you need to show where you need to be intentional about recording where you start, about recording everything you do, because things don't stay the same. You will get better. Like, if you continue to work on something, it'll eventually start working for you. You will have an evolution. You will grow. You will get better. So you need to start recording where you started. How has your brand changed over time? Like, so you can see how your brand changed over time. See, but none of us like to measure backwards. We don't like to measure progress backwards. We like to measure progress forward. But you should be measuring progress backwards. Why? So that you can see, like, I was here, but now I'm here. Like, you are elevating, you are getting better over time. This is why you should always be putting out there so that you can show how your brand is getting better and changing. That's why you got to be intentional about recording where you start, how you started, how it's currently going. Think about how your brand started and what has happened and how it has grown over time. Did you begin as a small business and expand? Have you changed your product or services to meet new customer needs? What is it? Like, how are you growing? What are you doing different? What have you changed? Have you changed your logo, your design? Have you changed your packaging? Have you changed the way people perceive your brand? Have you changed your business model? Like, how have you grown? You need to put this out there to the world and show them and express that, because it's all a part of shaping the identity of your brand. And another part of shaping that evolution is innovation and change. What new things has your brand done? Like, you can't stay the same. Like, what new products, or how are you making your products better? How are you better solving people's problems? Staying the same forever isn't an option. Brands that evolve introduce new ideals, technologies, or ways to serve their customers better. Have you launched new products lately? Have you used new technology or adjusted your branding to keep up with the trends? Like, how are you changing? Like you got to continually be constantly improving. Like, you got to continue to be constantly getting better. Do you not know that every new solution creates a new problem? So you should always be focused on, like, after you solve that problem, figure out the problems that problem has so that you can continue to get better and better and better and better over time. Like, you got to continue to evolve and change and get better, because if you're not trying to get better, then you get worse by default. It's called the law of entropy. If you're not actively applying energy to become better, you get worse. You literally get worse by default. So if you're not trying to become better as a brand, you're actually getting worse. You're actually falling behind. And another part of the element of evolution is keeping things fresh. How does your brand stay interesting? Successful brands don't just sell, they engage and excite their audience. Are you creating events? Are you creating something for customers to all come together and be excited about? Is your marketing up to date? Are you collabing with new influencers? Are you launching some special promotions to keep people engaged? The key is to stay relevant and exciting without losing what makes your brand special. Like, think about the example of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola came up with Share a Coke campaign. They changed their bottles to have people's names on them, making it fun and personal, which increased their sales, right? They did something, keeping it fresh, following trends. Brands that don't change, like Radio Shack, they disappear because they don't keep up with what people want. But when you become intentional About all these things, you create something we call a brand. And a brand, again, is nothing but a name or a symbol that communicates a message about its identity. When you hear the name Bentley, that name communicates a message about its identity. You think luxury and a fancy car. When you see the Nike check mark, that's a symbol that communicates an identity to you because you think sports and motivation. And when you visit Starbucks, that place makes you feel cozy and warm, like you're at home chilling and sitting down or working in your dorm or something. I don't know. But it's the second place between work and home. When you hear the name Denzel Washington, that's a name that communicates a message about an identity. And the identity tells you that that's an actor. When you hear the name Kanye, what comes to mind? Probably a whole bunch of things. But that guy's identity communicates a message. Or when you hear the name Tabitha Brown, what comes to mind? She's like the next Martha Stewart. But when you hear the name Elon Musk, what comes to mind? I don't know what comes to mind lately because bro been doing some crazy stuff. But your brand should be clear and easy to remember. Just to recap these 5 elements. Number 1 is pick something you're great at so that you can show your specialty, so you can show your expertise. And then number 2, make it look awesome and consistent. Make it look good. Your first impression is the best impression. Care about what you got on. How you present yourself to the world is how people will perceive you. If I got on here looking like a bum, you probably wouldn't listen to me. If I got on here and I didn't present myself in a way that looks like I know what I'm talking about, you probably wouldn't listen to me. And then number 3, say things that match your brand. Remember, everything you do, whether every post you make, every story you tell, the clothes you wear, the places you show up, the people you connect with, they all are part of your brand's message. And then number 4, connect with people and make them feel something. How do people follow you? Do people actually really know you? Can they relate to you? Do they feel you? Do you put yourself in their shoes and can they put themselves in your shoes, or can they see themselves through you? And then number 5, keep growing and improving over time. Evolution, baby. And when you do all this, you create a brand because people begin to know you for your expertise. And when they love the person you are and everything matches the message you intentionally planned it to communicate, then you have created a brand, a name, or a symbol that communicates a message. And once you create a name or a symbol that communicates a message, you ensure that when people see your name or your logo, they're immediately associated with your expertise, values, and offerings, making you one of a kind in a crowded marketplace. Well, now that I fulfilled my promise of making sure that you know what a brand is and how to create one, I hope you have fun playing the game of establishing trust and eliminating risk. Well, that's all I have for you today. And the goal, as always, is to learn from each other so that we can learn at a faster pace, helping each of us to remain a strategic player in this game called business.